I do feel bad for the Heat in a sense, but I think from the Raptors' perspective, like, I mean, did Masai was Masai not absolutely right about the timing of this? You know,
Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
pivoting in a different
Masai
direction.
is like the being that knows all. I swear. Like the basketball knows all guy. Like yeah, no, he made the right call in terms of getting a different piece in there and refreshing the roster. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure said like it was a mutual decision with
Hmm.
Lowry as well. But at the end of the day, like he has to look out for the best of the franchise. And I think it's great that Lowry did take that step, not just because, oh, Lowry's aging, whatever, but because we have to see the next generation come up. Like
Yeah.
with Lowry out of the Raptors, we got to see a more fully fleshed Fred VanVleet first and foremost. And then we got to see more of a point guard position in Scotty Barnes, right? Like, would there have been room to grow? Like, we could talk about Raptors right now and get all into the fact that there probably wasn't enough minutes at times to really even develop the bench as strong as they probably could have been.
Hmm.
But that's because there's so much young core talent like within your starting lineup within the first 6 7 guys that it's hard to give the time to the 7 to 12 guys as well because they're so young. And Amy touched on it before I got on as well, right? So Precious Achiuwa's we saw the growing pains of his game throughout this season. We saw the growing pains of Chris Boucher a little bit, even though he's on the older side of the scale. If you want to look at the NBA side of things, but still, like his role kind of more expanded this year. And when you have a veteran player taking up a lot of minutes
Hmm.
on a team, and rightfully so, like we all know he earned it. It's one of those things where it can stunt the growth of your team if you're not careful.
Yeah. And look, even just the getting the trade and return and stuff like that. I think a lot of people were like, look, it's a little underwhelming. Maybe we could have got more for Kyle, this and this and this. And it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, look, you want to take care of Kyle. You absolutely took care of Kyle. Kyle is getting $90 million guaranteed from the Heat,
Nice.
which, like, you think about this is year one of that deal, right? So, I mean, he played really well in the regular season. It was absolutely worth it in the regular season, but come time for the playoffs, he hasn't been healthy. Hopefully, he can be healthy and, whatever. But look, the Heat made the decision that they did.
Yeah.
But from the Raptors' perspective, you absolutely took care of him. You gave him just an incredible homecoming in April. It was one of the highlights of the season for me, just seeing how much love he got, how much Kyle enjoyed that. And obviously, Kyle walked away with the win, too. I'm sure he enjoyed that most of all. But,
Mhm.
you get Precious back, and, like, would Precious not be playing in this series? I feel like Precious would be a big piece in this series. I'm not
Oh,
saying like Precious would
yeah.
like dominate or all this other stuff. He's
Well,
still very young, but in the way that the Celtics play and the
yeah.
fact that the Heat lack for defenders who can
Yeah.
sort of like, I mean, you look at Dwayne Dedman and the way he can't really move in the series, like it's like,
Would
man,
they would
Precious will be
need a
doing well.
Precious, absolutely, but think about the fact that the Heat stunted Precious's growth when he was with them for 1 year.
Mm,
So,
interesting.
would Precious even be the player that he is with the Raptors right now with the Heat? If he stayed with the Heat? Probably not. Um, and I'll have to say also, quick side note to your comment about Lowry's return game. Absolutely, the Raptors organization did such a great job to bring him back home and welcome him back to the Scotiabank Arena. And it was one of my favorite highlights of the season too, because I got to hang out with you and Alex a little bit at the game. So
Oh,
that was awesome.
yeah, that's right. Honestly,
I know, get all sentimental.
yeah. That's the thing I actually miss about the season being over. It's just like, honestly, a lot of my friends are just media people.
Literally.
And, like, I mean, like, yes, we could organize to, like, meet up outside of work, but it was very nice to just, like, see you guys, like, every week consistently.
You know?
I miss everybody is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We miss all Raptors media listening to this. We miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you guys. But yeah, no. So Precious, I think we got a great piece out of him.
Hey,
I think
listen,
everybody could say that, right?
I'm
You
just
look
saying
back at it
there's no
now.
takebacks on that on that deal right
Absolutely
now.
not.
Not right now.
Absolute. Yeah, think about what his development and his growth is going to be even next year. Like I
Yeah.
think about the work he's going to be putting in this off season. Like, if there's one tool that you would like to see him refine in his toolkit going into next season, what would that be?
Uh Honestly, I think the 3 is already starting to come around for him. So I'm just going to assume that there's going to be some baseline of like he can hit threes on a consistent level. I believe in the leap that he made in the second half of the season. Even just watching him warm up, he's just gotten a lot better on that front. I hate talking about warm
Mhm.
ups. I really do talk about it all the time. Um, I want to see more of his ability to put it on the floor.
Mm,
Because he's just so explosive when he's able to just take
mhm,
one, even two dribbles and just rise up. He's the most athletic guy on the Raptors. So I
mhm.
want to see that athleticism go into the basket. And I think it's like it's pretty much what Thad said to him towards the end of the year was just like, look, you're gonna catch and shoot this three, or you're gonna put it on the floor and you're gonna go straight line
Yep,
to the rim and you're gonna dunk through whoever's gonna be there. And I'm like,
yep,
yes, just do that because he can be so dynamic on that end. I know
yep.
he's got ball handling skills because of the way he sort of came up as a point guard, and he's had to play a lot of different roles in his short time in his career between high school and college and Miami and Toronto. But there's a real skill set there, and if he can develop that, like if he can handle it and just attack a couple closeouts, I don't know. He's just so athletic that I know it's going to work out for him. What about you?
You know what? It's an intangible thing for me, and you touched on it with the Thad Young comment. What it goes back for me is actually decisiveness.
Mm,
I think when you commit to whatever action you're thinking about doing, like whether that's getting the ball on the floor, driving straight to the rim, then he's almost unstoppable because he's that explosive. If it is shooting a three, I think his percentage would go even higher if he's comfortable with that confidence to make the decision. Oh yeah, no, I'm shooting this right
right.
instead of the hesitation. I think we saw a lot of his wheels turning in his head this past season of like, do I drive this? Do I shoot this? Is anybody gonna get mad? Like, there's lots of like options on the floor. Am I the guy? Like, nah. I think he needs to come in and with the confidence and decisiveness of like, nah, I am that guy.
Hmm,
I
hmm.
can I can put the ball on the floor. I will do that. And that's going to be his strength. I think exploding to the rim is definitely his strength. Shooting will definitely be his secondary thing. But if he defines that shot and makes it consistent, like it gets up into the high 30s, like well, that'd be a dream. But like percentage wise throughout this course of the season, we're laughing. Like that's quite the piece
Yeah.
that we can't lose on the Raptors for sure.